Now,
two friends, two minds, and one love for Arsenal Football Club. You are now listening to the Cod and Two Minds podcast.
what's up?
What's going on, my friend?
Oh man, whoo! Not too much. Before we get into the debacle, what's known as Arsenal Football Club, what's been going on in the Bay, man?
The biblical heat, like out of control heat.
Oh wow!
So I mean, the difference is I've lived in a lot of hot places now, but in the Bay Area, you don't really need an air conditioner usually.
No, you don't.
So it hit 106 degrees on Friday in the Bay Area. In San Francisco, 106 degrees, and people are dying. We're miserable.
Jeez.
So that's what's going on in my world.
Right. I got you.
And then I got to deal with the transfer market. I mean, it's been a rough week.
Yeah, it's I mean, we're a joke. Just
what about for you though? What's going on for you this week?
A lot of people, they've been sending me texts and emails, asking, am I all right? I'm in Dallas, we're about 5 hours north of Houston. So yeah, everything has been, hunky dory here. But that's the trip, extremely hot in the Bay to the point where it's over 100 degrees is extremely rare. But to be 106 and then you got all this rain in Houston,
Right.
I mean, it's just crazy. But the only thing that kind of the backlash from that is there was like a gas shortage, man. Like I couldn't find gas for 2 days because these crazy ass Texans were cruising around just fucking scooping up gas, man. They have fools on the news, like interviewing people. Like the first day we ran out of gas, and This redneck was like, yeah, I'm just waiting on some gas. And the guy's like, he looked in his car and he's like, dude, I mean, you almost got a full tank, man. What are you doing here? And he's like, well, I just want to fill up. We got all that stuff going on and we got Henry. But yeah, for like 2 days, your boy couldn't get gas. I just got gas this morning. So yeah,
those are what do they call them? The doomsdayers. Those are the doomsday preppers. They're like, when shit hits the fan, they immediately know exactly what to do. Maud, get the cans and the peaches, and I'm gonna go get the gas. Okay, let's go.
And go to the armory and get some shotgun bullets. But it's like I said, I've never experienced anything like that, and I dread the next fucking horrific event because, I mean, man, we're so far away, you wouldn't think it would affect us, but I mean, anyway.
The craziest shit that I was seeing on this, like I saw when the first time it came on land, and then they were talking to people, and they were like, "It's coming back in about 6 hours," and I was like, "Oh my god, this is crazy!" Like.
Yeah. So anyway, that's enough of that. So we're all good. You're all good. Good. Let's get to the debacle. Arsenal transfer deadline day. Just came and went like a fart in a wind, a greasy fart in a wind. One of the kind of burn when they come out, and it just vanishes. But yeah, man. I mean, put it this way. This is why we took the summer off. You know what I mean? We've been fans for a while. We've been going through this, and I learned my lesson 8 years ago. You know?
Yeah,
it's all bullshit. This guy is not going to do anything to have his team fully prepared to play. So the season starts for me as an Arsenal fan after the transfer deadline day.
Yes,
because it's a big shit bomb has hit the club. Everybody's in a panic. We don't have enough players. We've lost games. He didn't buy enough, and now the season has begun. So on that note, Fitty, how many stars are you giving our deadline, our transfer?
What are we doing this out of 10 stars? Out of 5 stars?
Just five.
Actually, you know what? It doesn't really matter. 1. I give 1 star.
Yeah, we're doing, your standard 5, okay? So you're giving them 1.
I only give him 1 star because I do believe Lacazette and Kolasinac are talented individuals.
Yes.
But as far as addressing the state of the team, the affairs of the team, the embarrassment of guys that you signed 12 months ago that are now no longer part of the picture.
Great point. I forgot about that. Yes.
Just
keep going.
It's embarrassing. It's just very embarrassing. And
so you're giving them a 1.
Yeah, just that's it.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and give them. I agree with a lot of your points. There are a lot of my same points. I'm going to give them 2 stars. Just for the simple fact that, first of all, I believe we needed 5 players. All the Deadwood people that were supposed to be gotten rid of, I would have just naturally expect for him to handle that business and get rid of those players, even if he has to eat some of the money. Get ninjas like Debussy off the team.
Right.
Even if you got to eat the money. So I figured he would do that, and he would bring in 5 players, a couple attacking players, a defensive-minded midfielder, and some legitimate defenders who he can play in this system he wants to play. Real white ring back, a real right. He did that with Kolasinac and Lacazette. So I'm giving him 2 stars because he took care of that business earlier. The reason why it's not any higher because the balance of the team is still all fucked up. He didn't get rid of the Deadwood players or the dead weight or whatever the fucking reference is. And he didn't, the whole Alexis Sanchez debacle at the end,
Yeah.
At this point, you know what I mean? You might as well try to get the money, especially if he's clearly made it known that he doesn't want to play for us anymore. And, so, we screwed that up completely. So,
yeah, it really did. And, honestly, there's a push and pull with the, needing 5 players or bring 5 new players in or stuff like that or whatever, because, he did clear out a few names that, personally, I'm okay if they leave, but, he didn't replace them. He didn't go get anybody else to bring back to the team.
Right. Go ahead.
And if that ends up, I'm just saying, if that ends up being the case, then it's like, are we going to hit a point in the season where we're like, be kind of nice if we had Kieran Gibbs still, or something like that. I don't know. Like, we don't,
Well, yeah, exactly. But even if we did have Kieran Gibbs, he doesn't trust those players enough to be able to put them in any situation at any given time, not just when somebody's hurt or, it's a complete emergency. So, those are the players that he really needed to get rid of so he can get the players that he can trust to put in at any moment. And we can, really be a big club as far as depth and quality at every position to compete on all 4 fronts for 4 trophies as a big club. And that's something we've never done within the last 10 years. And later on, I'm going to talk about our schedule through September to December and the amount of games we play each month. And you'll really see how bad this guy fucked up. this time. Regardless of all the other times, and you can blame it on whoever you want. And I want to get into this next little thing I've been seeing online. You know me, I scour the internet looking for shit online to watch and all.
The pulse. You want to get the pulse of the public. You see what they're talking about.
Exactly. So I'm starting to see more people intensify the Kroenke out narrative instead of the Wenger out narrative. Where do you stand on that?
It's just, I don't know. It just seems like it's a wasteless argument. These people to be so passionate about something that's not really changeable. It's Kroenke's team. He's going to run it the way he wants to run it. And he's clearly shown through time that Wenger is his man, and that's how Kroenke wants to run it. So why do we waste our breath talking about one of them needs to go or they both need to go? I don't think public perception is going to push Kroenke out the door. He makes good money with this squad. And as far as Wenger goes, I mean, I think this is the swan song, and I think just Wenger himself retires after 2 years. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, he just signed a new one. So, why don't waste your breath on that one either. That's how I feel.
Okay.
That's how I feel.
So you're no fun. You're in the no fun zone.
Yeah. I mean, I hate the guy that's just raining on the parade, but.
Yeah. Okay. No, I feel you. Those are all great points. And, that's the rational, thought. Yeah. Is everything you said. And I'm going to completely agree. There's nothing we can do either way. There was an opportunity for something to happen. So I'm leaning more towards I'm in the Wenger out category. Especially this year, especially this offseason, especially the way this squad is laid up laid up. Has been prepared for the start of the season. It's got to be Wenger out. The only reason why it could be Kroenke out is because he did not fire Wenger this offseason.
Yeah.
So in the grand scheme of things, if you want to look at it like that, look, I'm changing my own mind while I'm speaking. You know what I'm saying? That's fucking crazy. But
that's a sign of a flexible person, though. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. You got to look at both sides of the coin. But I'm going to go with, in the grand scheme of things, it's got to be Kroenke out because he didn't have enough sense to fire Wenger. And what's going on the field is not Kroenke's fault. He's entrusted the man that people who support his team idolize, still believe in him passionately. Kroenke has chosen to put all his chips in Wenger's corner and be like, hey, man, I don't know soccer shit. You take care of everything. Here's this guy, Gazidis. You guys work it out. I need to make such and such money. I got to feed big black guys in the NFL. You know what I mean? I just want cash. Y'all do whatever you want. But he trusted Wenger, and Wenger's the one who's leaving out Lacazette and not playing blockhead Kolasinac, and having Bellerin play on the left side, and not getting the team prepared to start a season. Just the balance of the squad's all fucked up. There's not enough defenders clearly, and that's the weakest part of our team.
Yes.
It's so on and so on. That's all Wenger on the pitch. As far as money and transfer and all that shit, hey, they say Wenger's got the money, and if he doesn't have the money, then he should come out and say, hey, I don't have the fucking money. But you know how I know he's getting the money and he's getting to do whatever the fuck he wants to do? Because he signed that contract. No one in their right mind, if they're not getting the support of the fucking owner or the club, is going to be like, you know what, I'll fucking go 2 years more of this bullshit.
Sure. Because, whether anybody thinks the guy has lost his, his creativity or his edge, he's still Arsene Wenger. And if he was, like you said, if he was in that situation with the club, he can easily move on and go back home to France and coach, some team in League One or League Two, or, and just, finish out his career, which may end up being what he does and stuff. So like you said, that is a good point. Just another quickie too, just so I can always remind people of this at times. Arsenal fans should know, like, I've got very close to my family, I've got somebody involved in the NBA. And the Denver Nuggets, Kroenke's team, is well known in the NBA as the cheapest, worst facilities in the entire NBA. And that's just how Kroenke rolls. It's all about the P&L statement, profit and loss.
Exactly. Clear as day. But I mean, in this point, but look at it this way. If he's going to do that with Arsenal, okay, and he's entrusted this guy Wenger, who's, been the greatest manager, some say, in Arsenal's history. He's entrusted everything as far as what goes on the field to this guy. To me, he's making a good decision. That's what I would do if I didn't know shit about soccer and I bought a team and I had Wenger. I'd be like, hey, man, just make me money. But, win. I mean, do whatever the fuck you do. I don't really care, but just make money. So Wenger should still be, anyway, the shit on the pitch is dog shit now, bottom line. And Kroenke ain't got shit to do with that.
All right. I just got to ask this real quick because, despite what others may think, I'm not bullheaded. And I do like to try to think what could be going on from the other side or the thinking or something. So, I mean, do we outright know that? I know it's said in public, but do we outright know, are all these decisions on personnel and stuff strictly Wenger? Yeah, there's nobody else involved or gives him an official nod. If he wants to sign a player, he signs him.
Yeah, it's all him, dude.
So it's on Wenger then. It's just on Wenger.
And that's another thing. The whole, I mean, it's clear as day. You need a director of football just to get rid of sorry motherfuckers like Debussy and Gibbs, he got rid of Gibbs finally. But you know what I mean? You need help doing shit. Clear as day. You need help bringing people in, getting deals done, and moving people along. You need help. Basically, all he has is some scouts, and Wenger pretty much signs off on everything. Sure. And so, you can blame Kroenke for some strange reason, even though he's got a war chest. I mean, come on.
Anybody.
Come on.
Actually, I'm not even going to say they could. They do. Everybody looks at this last transfer season now. I know it's just fresh, but I mean, this is, like you called it, a debacle. This is as bad a transfer season as anybody that consider themselves a big club could possibly have. This is a team that has traditionally finished top 4. The season before finished second place, and they finished outside of the Champions League for the first time in 20. This is a team you would think would be in alert mode. Let's regroup. Let's stock the forces. Let's make sure that we get back into the Champions League. And This is what we end up with at the end of the summer, is just an embarrassing non-effort. And one more quickie, what somebody pointed out when I watched I don't know if you caught the ESPN, little transfer day show or whatever they did, but Stuart Robson, that dude.
Yeah.
Right at the end when they were talking about whether Arsenal still had anything left up their sleeve, he pointed out that I'm not sure if there is, but if there was, I'm not sure if anything could be done anyway. Wenger's in France announcing the fucking French national game right now.
Right. You see what I'm saying?
On the last day when, you just got rid of Ox. You don't even want to try to replace Ox with some young athlete. Who knows if the guy could even play soccer? Just go grab somebody for $2 million to put on your fucking roster.
Yeah, come on. I mean, yeah, that just shows you this guy is spinning way too many plates, man. He's an old guy. He doesn't eat enough protein. You know what I mean? You know, I mean, come on. He's spinning a lot of plates. And
he's got his nose on his hand.
Come on, just filthy. But yeah. So I mean, you mentioned Ox in there. Clearly, that was one of the big talking points of this transfer market. Deadline day special. You know what I mean? The end of the transfer market. But yeah, what are some of your thoughts on Ox? Let's do it like this. Let's do a good, bad, ugly. You know what I mean? Like what? Give me some good.
The good moments that I can remember about Ox, and it's not specific to games, although I do remember a few games that I loved that he played. But to really be honest, the good part is I was in love with his potential. I loved his potential, and I thought, he's almost there, and then when you say that for 3 or 4 years, it feels bad, but I always believed in Ox, man. I thought he was going to be a real special player for Arsenal.
Right.
So that's the good.
Okay. Go ahead. I mean, you want me to jump in with my good? I mean, it's some of the same.
Yeah.
Some of the same.
I want to hear what your good was.
Some of the same shit. When you see that fool's back in his jersey, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you watch him going, with the ball at his feet. Big, powerful, strong. He seemed like a good locker room guy, even though, he was maybe a little too much in the social media, but he, amongst the team, he seemed like a cool cat. Sure. But, yeah, on his day, I mean, he looked like he was really, like you said, potential, gonna be a strong player. And he's one of those ones where you just like, it's almost worth the wait to see if it pays off.
Sure.
So, but yeah, what are some of your bad, or what's the bad shit about Ox?
Whether it's either Ox or the way Wenger prepared Ox for games at times, the bad is that there was a good amount of times when I saw Ox go out, because maybe Wenger switched him around in different positions so often. But there was a period where, you would see games that Ox went out there and it seemed like he just didn't quite get into the flow or get what his duty was out here today. So at times, you were just like waiting for that burst of pace, that strong run, but he was just not there. It just wasn't happening. You could lose him sometimes.
Got you. I completely agree. If I was going to criticize Ock with his time with Arsenal, it would be fitness. There's stretches. There was a good stretch there where he would just miss a good chunk of games.
Yeah.
A lot of the things I criticize Ox for would be, just not really having that football brain, or composure. He was always wild, and you just be like, man, calm the fuck down, but, yeah. But you can't, I'm gonna go on a little rant here, but you really can't even blame Ox because he's not being coached,
right.
He's tactically, so he just kind of runs around out there. And that, that has a lot to do with Wenger. What about as far as his future? What are you thinking about Ox?
I think, like you mentioned it, which it's his last touch. The last touch on his cross, the last touch when he takes a shot or sets up for a shot that always seems to fail him. I think he'll do okay with Liverpool because I don't think he's going to start. What I think what I don't think he's going to live up to, which I don't see people ride. Actually, they do. They ride soccer players the same way. I don't know if he's going to live up to his $40 million transfer potential. I think people are going to view him constantly like not being worth that.
Got you. I look at it. I think he'll have a great future at Liverpool, or he'll show flashes as far as he'll make a good impression on himself, because when he does play, he will play good because he has a coach. Once Klopp gets his hands on him, teaches him their style, really coaches him up, develops him, all the things Wenger never did, gets him tactically astute, ready, you know what I mean? Like just, out there. I think he's gonna turn into a great player. Actually a good player, a good, solid professional, more than what we got, basically.
I definitely do believe that.
And it's just because you look at players like what he's done for players like Lallana, or even Mane was kind of like on the cusp of getting to top level player. Now he is, once he got to Liverpool, and you could just see the player development there is much better than the player development at Arsenal. And I almost have to commend Ox for wanting to leave. You gotta start to want to think about the mentality of some of the players who don't want to leave, who stay, because there's a long history of just, like I always said, I hate to harp on this. This is my last point on this, but if you're not already world class when Wenger gets you, then you don't have a prayer to improve. And you look at Theo, you look at Ramsey, you look at Wilshere, you look at Gibbs, you look at Chambers, you look at what's going on with Bellerin, you look at what's going on with Iwobi, you look at what's going on with Holden now. There's a pattern that the development by Wenger and his first team staff, they don't get the best out of these players. And I commend Ox for wanting to at least go on and improve and better his career. Like, at least he had enough sense to see that it's a complete fucking mess. And that's all I want to say.
I don't have, you hit the nail on the head with a lot of things. And I will say this, like when you pointed out like Mane or what he's done for some of these other players is this is a good system for Ox to really do something. And like you said, I mean, if you're of the belief, like we've said before, that he hasn't, Wenger doesn't necessarily coach these guys up. Right. They just have kind of pure natural talent that, is good to have. But then Klopp, I mean, this would be this would be a good fit for him. And kudos to Ox for saying, last second, like, no, I don't want to go to Chelsea. I'd rather go to Liverpool, Yeah.
But either way, put it this way, he would have been coached up, And if it's me and I'm in his shoes, I'm thinking Conte will really coach my ass up, because Victor Moses is garbage. I don't care what nobody said, but when you watch him play for this Italian fool, he looks good.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right, on to the last little thing before we end this. Okay, so with all the bullshit, with everything that's been going on, in reality, we do have a strong enough squad to compete for a fourth place finish. I mean, you would think, a top four.
I think we could compete.
I mean, what would be your best 11? And would you switch from a back three to a back four, or would you keep it the same? I just asked that question twice, basically. But yeah,
I'm gonna start with the back four. I think I'm ready to go back to a back four, because I don't think we're strong enough with center backs.
Right. Good point.
You know, what I like about our center backs when we do 3 in the back is that a lot of our center backs are kind of on the athletic side, and you kind of need that when you're playing 3 in the back. But all that being said, I want Kolasinac out on the field, on the pitch.
Okay, left back, boom.
At left, and I want Koscielny and Mustafi's still there, right?
Yeah,
So I want Mustafi there, dude.
Okay.
And
that's a whole nother story. But I mean, who knows what the fuck happened with all that? You know, the next thing you wake up and this motherfucker's like, I want to get out of here. But anyway, keep going.
Yeah.
Who's your right back? Bellerin?
And then Bellerin at right, because we don't really have a lot of competition there.
I agree with everything you just said, so I'm not even gonna. That's my exact. And Peter Cech or Ospina.
Cech. I thought Ospina's gone. No, we didn't get rid of him.
I think he's still on the team, but if he isn't, forgive me. You know, with the
he might still be. Hey, that's how much I paid attention, dude. I don't know, dude.
Yeah, it didn't matter. It doesn't matter because the season starts on the 9th. But But check it out. Cech's. Yeah, you were just getting ready to say Cech's been having a good year. As far it doesn't show by the results, but as far as the saves, he's looked alert and he's looked ready. I think he had one slip up one game, but anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so our back line is the exact same. Who you got in the midfield?
So in the midfield, let's see. Midfield, I would be playing. I'll play Xhaka and El Nini.
Okay, I like that.
And that it kind of hurts me to say it, but I'll say Xhaka and El Nini.
Sitting right in front of the back four, just right in front of them. Very disciplined, just never really moving too much, really protecting the back four.
Right.
I see the exact same thing. Okay, keep going.
And then let's see. Okay, Ox is gone. So out left side, I got Alexis. Out on the right side, I got geez.
It's the balance is it's all fucked up.
I'll play Danny on the right side.
Okay, well that's where we disagree. Keep going.
And then Ozil right in front of the striker and Lacazette.
Okay, I like everything except for Danny Welbeck. I would put.
I had a tough time thinking there. Who you got?
I would put Ramsey right in front of the striker, sitting right in front of El Nini and Xhaka. You know what I mean? I would play Ramsey as the number 10, and I would play Ozil outright. And if he didn't like it, he could fuck off.
Hit him with the hairdryer.
Yeah. But I mean, hey, that's a team that could get top 4. However we want to nitpick whoever we got out here. We have a strong enough squad to get top 4. Do you think the old man can get it done? And where do we finish?
I'm going to tell you this. We're going to finish 5th.
We're going to finish 5th.
Arsenal's going to finish 5th, right outside of the 4. And it's going to hurt even more this year because Tottenham is going to be the squad that takes 4th, and we're going to miss out because we couldn't catch them.
Okay. So Wenger could not get it done. I completely agree. Wenger won't be able to get it done. We don't have enough balls to fire him, but this is gonna be, we'll finish either 6th or 7th. We'll finish, it's gonna be a fight between us and Everton for that 6th spot. And, that's where we're gonna be, and it's gonna stay that way until Wenger goes. And I don't see that happening for 2 years. But, still going to support the team. And here's another reason, Fiddy. I was just curious about our how many games we're going to have. Because, when you play a Europa, you play Thursday, Sunday, and it's just a real
right.
It's a shitstorm. That's why nobody really wants to get in it. So in September, I'm just going to do it like this. In September, we have, we got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games in September.
Jesus. And we don't even play our first one until September 9th.
Preach. And in October we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. Okay. November we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games in November.
And there's an international break in November too, right?
Come on. I'm not fucking around here.
Wow.
And in December, hell month, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games.
Oh my God.
So you would think of all the years that have the balance and the squad depth and everything tip top, this would have been the year to do exactly what Jose Mourinho did. Get out early, get your team situated, get them prepared, coach them up and ready to start the season. And that's something we've never done within at least the last 10 years that I know of watching this team. We've never been ready. And here we are scrambling again.
Yeah, just like chicken heads.
For real. I'm going to end it on that note. I want to give a couple shout outs. One to at London Goon AFC. Great guy to follow on Twitter. Me and him have kind of the same perspective on things. Just an all around cool guy. At Gooner and Cali, wonderful blog. Check it out. Also,
my homie.
Also a good follow on Twitter. And last but not least, my big partner at Tony AFC 66.
Tony,
thanks for the support. Drop us an email, citmpodcast@gmail.com. Follow me on Twitter at eMarshall, EMARSHO. Follow the show at CITM Podcast. And Fiddy, come on, what you got?
Hey, I'm at Gooner Rush, and hey, we appreciate any of the interaction, all the interaction, and always try to respond back. So if you guys got any questions or anything, hit us up, man. Hit us up on Twitter. We're there.
Subscribe on iTunes, rate and review it. Hit us up on SoundCloud. Thanks for the support. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you guys for tuning in to Caught in Two Minds. Please head on over to iTunes and subscribe, rate, and review the show. All feedback is much appreciated. If you would like to contact the show, drop us an email at citmpodcast@gmail.com. And be sure to follow us on Twitter at CITM Podcast, at Gooner Rush, and at eMarshall. That's EMARSHO. The music in this podcast has been provided by Statics. If you like what you hear, be sure to check them out at staticsentertainment.com and follow them on Twitter and Instagram at Statics Music. That's STATX Music. Peace.